this for good things, and I
So
think
that's the thing, is it, the wheelchair, and that's where now going back to the question, would you change anything?
Yeah.
Well, now at this point, I've also gotten up on stage. I got to do some motivational
Tell me
speaking.
about some of your motivational speaking.
So this has been very exciting. So I've helped the St. Joseph Parkwood Foundation out. I did a motivational speaking engagement. It was a thank you dinner. Okay. For all the people that selflessly donated here in London,
yep.
Which I would love to go and knock on every single door and say thank you.
Yeah.
Because this doesn't just mean something for someone that's disabled. It also means something for the family.
Right.
When the family's around watching these people get up for the first time and all the technology that we're using now, it's very, very emotional.
Absolutely.
For the family.
Oh, I bet.
It gives the hope. It gives the family the peace of mind that things are going to be okay,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where they had me on stage, and to share my story and to also share that, this technology is absolutely wonderful. It's been a blessing.
Right.
And so I went up and did a wonderful thank you motivational speech engagement here in London.
Good for you.
And it was so successful.
Good.
That everyone has been coming to me and telling me, one, that they want me to have a book. They want me to publish a book.
Okay. About your story.
About my story.
Yeah.
And the education that I can provide to others with my experience.
Right. To other people that are so your book in a sense would be when you're done writing it.
Yes.
Someone that just has the unfortunate event such as yourself and is getting that news that they might not be able to walk again.
Exactly.
This is a book to give to them right away. Almost.
I'm going to give away which I'm going to work out with my publisher, which I'm looking to publish with Jerry Roberts and his Black Card Books company.
Okay.
Because he's got a great team of people, and obviously it's very, very difficult to publish a book.
Yes.
And so the other thing for me, why the book isn't coming out as fast as what I would like it to be, so that I have started to publish a book. I have started to write.
Good for you, man.
I've just put stuff on paper.
Good for you.
I've come up with chapters and everything because the people want it.
Yeah.
Because after a speaking engagement, I get a lineup of people that want to know more personal things about my disability and my experience, and they want to get really in depth into that. Well, then, by knowing that I can put this in the book. Mm-hmm. And then also knowing that I really, truly love helping, doing the peer support and helping the families in the hospital and in the situation, that I think the book would be a great tool to help. That if they had these books, if they had a book where I can even have Professor Kurt make his comments about his study in Switzerland and give some good factual evidence to what's going on, that would be a great start.
Absolutely.
So that's where working it out, I would work it out with my publisher for the title of the name, but I would like to call it A Paraplegic's Guide to Life on Earth. And I would love to give a lot of my experience, but I would also love to give a lot of the education and things that I've learned, and I'll be speaking a lot with others to get as much education as I possibly can, because having that roadmap in hospital, I think would be such a great thing. Sure. And a more hopeful thing. Yeah. But also like everything. Yeah. Everything from picking a wheelchair, therapists, because
that's a great idea.
Everything. Everyone's like, how did you get to the point where you're independent? You're cooking and cleaning and doing this. And,
it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, thank you.
I love it.
And it starts with an amazing team of therapists. Right. There's so many therapists in my life that I truly, I have the utmost respect for. Yeah. They helped me regain my independence, and they were there at my worst. Wow. Where a lot of my dignity was still out the window and things were still falling into place, and they were there for me, So I had everything from physiotherapists, rehab therapists, massage, athletic therapists, and some of them of which I still kept, pool therapists, all these therapists to really help me. A psychologist and all this stuff to really help me make that transition, to regain my independence and lifestyle and mentality and everything back. So that's where I want to make all these comments in the book. And when I was in Chicago as well too, which the Thomas family didn't know, and I'm talking, I said, did you get a lawyer because it was a work vehicle accident and this and that? And, did you get a lawyer and a case manager to help you because mom was running around like a chicken with her head cut off, trying to take care of the girls, trying to show up for her husband every day, and she tried to take care of bills at home and everything, and so it's a mess, and she had no idea, they had no idea that these are the people they have to seek out immediately.
Right.
And so that's where I had some really good family members that automatically went and got talking, and boom, had these things happen immediately. And that's a huge transition right there. People don't know this.
Right.
Your loved one's laying in bed. It's okay. They're laying in bed.
Yep.
Outside the doors, you're calling, you're getting connected, and you're bringing in lawyers. And sometimes, they may not work out. So you know what? You fire and you get someone else.
Right.
That works.
Right.
That has to work for the person that's disabled.
I see.
And not for the family or this and that. It has to be for the person that's disabled.
Right.
It has to work for them.
Well, it sounds like you've got a ton of advice.
Yes.
That you need to share with these people.
Exactly. So that's why I'm going to write and write and write. I'm trying to. I'm working on the funds because there is going to be. For financials to invest into Black Card books, there is an investment to be made.
Yep, sure.
Because nothing's for free.
No, have you thought about a GoFundMe account?
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, that's not a bad place to start.
I'm thinking it may be a potential to go on a GoFundMe to hopefully get these funds to publish this book.
Yeah.
Because I want the value to be in the book and not what you would pay to get the book.
Right, absolutely.
I want the value is going to be in it for the education, and it's really not going to be for the person that's disabled.
Right.
It's going to be for the family to know what to do for the person that's disabled.
Sure.
Because when I'm in hospital, the people that are in hospital, they don't want to pick up a book and read about someone that's disabled.
They're going through
a tough time enough. They got enough things on their mind, but for the family members to have the education and start flipping through the pages, reading what Professor Kurt has to say, reading what the hospital experience, therapist experience, and all this education from others. I'll even interview others that are doing it. And now the new technology that's out there and things, the do's and don'ts. The good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
There's so much to comment on, and there's so many interviews I could be doing to gain all this information and insight to really publish a very good, dense book of information to just help others. So it can be passed around and help others, and I think it would be an absolute wonderful thing, and it would actually reach out to the people that I can't reach out to because I'm here in London and I can only drive so far on my truck.
Right.
I would be willing to do it though. Put me on a plane. I've been to Zurich, Switzerland, right? So, but that's where the direction of my disability is heading. Good. I am still working to get on my feet.
Yeah.
There is also actually new technology with actually a neuroscientist as well in Switzerland. He's now developed a neuroprosthetic device. Okay. So now we take a step from bioengineering to now technology. Okay. So now we're looking at technology, computers. Really? Logistic stuff.
Wow.
So now a neuroscientist, Gregoire Courtine, and so you can look this gentleman up. He's from France, and he resides in, I believe now he's in Lausanne, Switzerland, or Geneva, Switzerland.
Okay.
And he has a laboratory there, and he is one of the scientists that has figured out the cells that are responsible for the coordination from the brain to the spinal cord when it comes for movement. Okay. So he figured out the cells that are responsible for the communication between the two parts. So now he's also figured out that giving back a spinal cord, especially an incomplete spinal cord, if you give it back excitability by shocking it with electricity, so now they're implanting a neuroprosthetic device onto the spinal cord, the lower part of the spinal cord, to shock the spinal cord to send messages from the bottom of the cord back up to the brain instead of the brain down to the spinal cord. Wow. For those connections, for that excitability to take effect, to build new pathways or to encourage pathways that are there that are not very effective, to basically heighten the excitability of these pathways to regain movement and sensation. Wow. And sure enough, it's been successful. Wow. It has been successful. They actually, the first gentleman, Rob Summers in the United States, he was going through the first phases in the pilot study of epidural stimulation. He was a quadriplegic for, I believe, 4 years. Yeah. After about 3 days of aggressive stimulation of the spinal cord and rebuilding some pathways, he was able to stand voluntarily and move his hands. Are you serious? Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that's where all of this fun stuff is now in research. Yeah. And so everyone's like, how do I get a hold of it? Well, that's the thing. It's in research. there's great things to come.
Yeah.
So that's where the optimism and the hope lies, and that's why I love sharing.
Right.
The facts that there is something, is that they're working on something, and it's not a matter of it's not so much as a matter of how anymore. It's just when. Will this be readily available to the public? And it's not right now.
Is there a lot of red tape that to get to read from research to when it's actually in use? Is there a lot of red tape to go through?
Or is they're starting to break that red tape down.
Good.
You know, because they signed an international agreement that now all scientists and professors are now sharing all their information.
Okay.
It's not a competition. It's not a competition as much. Good. It's now you know there's professors and scientists in the United States and here in Canada that are working on the same work.
Awesome.
You know, so they're sharing their ideas. You know, but there's obviously I would say yes, exactly.
Good.
So which is great. It's very encouraging because what's happening now is they're pushing it to the exponential rate of developing a treatment.
Right.
And that's the honest side of it, is that it's going to be a treatment. I know we like to jump to cure, but they want to be conservative when calling it that and say that it's going to be a treatment, but it's going to be a very positive treatment.
Right. Where
if you get anything back, that's very, very positive, right?
Right.
So, and I've seen the very positive effects. One, experiencing the stem cell transplant. Two, also getting the chance to email and talk to Professor Courtine.
Right.
And I'm in the hopes on my next trip to Switzerland to meet Professor Courtine, because I would have a lot of questions to ask him and comments and discuss, you know, publishing this book and get some good factual information to put in this book to allow people then to get some very basic information, then to follow it on YouTube or these podcasts to start following everything else after the book. So that's why this has become very exciting for me.
Awesome.
I've really been enjoying the motivational speaking.
Good.
I truly, truly love doing the peer support.
Good.
As much as it takes a lot of energy out of me, I truly love doing it. It's that's the life fulfilling, you know, that's the life fulfilling part, is doing this to help someone else. I like putting a smile on someone's face, for them to hop in my accessible truck or show off all the stuff that I'm doing. It's a very nice thing for me. So
Good, buddy. It sounds like you're doing fantastic things.
Yeah.
It sounds like you kind of found your purpose in all of this.
Absolutely.
Which is awesome. When it comes to any other stem cell transplants, if you were to go back and get more of those done, would they have any benefit? Or
absolutely.
Yeah.
I hear that question a lot.
Okay.
And so people think, is it a one for all surgery? No. You could take multiple stem cell transplant. You could take 1 million.
So would you consider doing more? Or?
Absolutely. If Professor Kurt develops a treatment with bioengineering, I would absolutely take the treatment. I would take, if it's another surgery or if they figure out other ways to transplant these cells, absolutely.
Right.
Because we're going to see the encouraged growth, and with more cell transplants, the more growth you're going to have, the more efficacy there will be, the more movement, the more independent living. Because that's the thing with a neurological injury, especially spinal cord. So the more you start getting back, that means the more for independence.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between being dependent and independent. Is obviously having hands actually having the hands, which actually I could be proven wrong with a lot of friends, but for majority, the hand function is the difference between dependent and independent. There's actually some amazing quadriplegics with like bicep movement and shoulders and no hand function that are actually living independently. It's amazing.
Wow.
Just because of the accessibility and the devices and everything. Yeah. But it is truly majority. The difference is dependent and independent when it comes to hand function. Yeah. So that's why if we can fix hand function for quadriplegics, they can regain their independence. That's a huge step in the right direction. If we can change paraplegia or if we can change bladder, bowel, and sexual function, which we didn't talk too much on. Yeah. But so with bladder function, this is urology. Right. Unfortunately, my bladder is not working like it used to.
Of course.
After the stem cell transplant, things started to return feeling sensation-wise. Yeah. And I can forcefully try and urinate. It's not encouraged because I put too much bladder pressure in my bladder. Right. So what I do what's called catheterization. Yep. So I use a long tube that you would slide all the way up your urethra to urinate when my bladder gets full. Right. And so we do this on a timely thing, or we do this when you start to feel the urge. Right. You usually get flush in the face. Your body gives you what's called an autonomic response. So you get an autonomic response where you get a little bit way too flush and you start to feel your heart rate going up and this and that, it's probably because you have to urinate.
Really?
Yeah. So
so you start to learn about other signs.
It's different signs.
Wow.
Yeah, different signs of all the systems. You know, you have your autonomic nervous system, your sympathetic nervous system, all these nervous systems. You know, and so that's where you can feed off these things to start redeveloping feeling kind of how you're taking care of yourself.
Right.
And so like for bowels for me, so going to the washroom is I don't feel when I'm full and I have to go to the washroom when my bowels are full. So I have a routine. I can somewhat go naturally as a result of the stem cell transplant, I believe, and from my aggressive therapy. Because if not, it would be always manual, what's called manual self-disinfection. You put a glove on, lube the fingers, and go in and empty the bowels. So for me,